All right, let's jump right into it. Welcome to this explainer where we are unpacking the absolute powder keg of a controversy surrounding Argentina and, of course, Lionel Messi.
Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the Egypt-Argentina thriller, move into the global outrage and brand bans, unpack the Messi favoritism claims, look at the stats behind the alleged bias, and finally, wrap up with how FIFA defends the VAR.
So, starting off with Section 1, the Egypt-Argentina thriller.
To really grasp the outrage here, you have to put yourself in the shoes of an Egypt supporter during this absolutely chaotic round of 16 clash. Picture this. It's the 79th minute. Egypt is literally minutes away from a historic, monumental upset. They're up 2-0. Then, just moments later, Mustafa Zico scores what feels like the absolute dagger, only for a highly contentious VAR intervention to swoop in and disallow it. Then, as if that wasn't enough, deep in stoppage time, Mohamed Salah goes down in the box begging for a penalty, and he is completely ignored. This wild sequence practically rolled out the red carpet for Lionel Messi in Argentina to orchestrate a stunning 3-goal comeback, ending with Enzo Fernandez sealing a 3-2 win right at the final whistle. Talk about emotional whiplash, right?
Because of how that ended, the narrative instantly completely shifted from a heartbreaking loss to direct, serious allegations of systemic bias. Egypt's coach, Hossam Hassan, held absolutely nothing back in his post-match press conference. He openly questioned the integrity of the whole tournament, basically saying out loud what angry fans were typing, that officials intentionally wanted to keep Messi and the defending champs in the 2026 World Cup. It wasn't just post-game frustration. This was a formal accusation that spread like wildfire across the globe.
Which brings us to Section 2, global outrage and brand bans.
You see, the outrage wasn't just contained to the football pitch. It sparked this viral global movement that is both bizarre and, honestly, highly entertaining. In a phenomenal display of internet culture, brands all over the world mockingly banned the French referee, François Lexier, from their businesses. It served as the ultimate comedic palate cleanser to all that intense football drama. You literally had a Lebanese beauty brand saying he can't buy their products, claiming they fix damaged hair, not damaged decisions. A gourmet sandwich shop in India, a bubble tea cafe in Jordan, a burger joint in Australia, and even a spicy chicken spot down in Texas all issued public bans on the guy for robbing Egypt. It's just a masterclass in how modern viral marketing reacts to live sports.
But the real takeaway here is that this specific match ignited a worldwide cultural phenomenon, showing us how modern sports controversies instantly bleed into global social media trends. The digital mob got so intense that referee Letexier reportedly deactivated his Instagram account just to escape the crosshairs. What starts as a simple whistle on a field in North America literally turns into a global meme overnight.
Moving right along to Section 3, the Messi favoritism claims.
Once everyone moved past the jokes, fans and pundits started pointing to very specific, highly debated incidents from earlier in the tournament to argue that Argentina is playing by a different set of rules. This comparison right here is the beating heart of those conspiracy theories. On one hand, you have Lionel Messi avoiding a red card after his studs raked down the calf of Algeria's Issa Mandi back in the group stages. On the other hand, you have U.S. striker Folarin Balogun receiving a straight, immediate red card for a tackle against Bosnia that looked almost identical. For suspicious fans, putting these two moments side by side is all the proof they need that referees are terrified of sending off the biggest star in the world.
3. Just think about that number for a second. That is the number of penalty kicks awarded to Argentina so far in the 2026 tournament. That's higher than any other team remaining in the competition. And for a lot of folks, this feels exactly like history repeating itself, perfectly echoing their record-breaking 5 penalties during their 2022 World Cup victory run. Critics also point to Argentina's seemingly favorable path to the quarterfinals. After topping their group, they've played Cape Verde, Egypt, and now they've drawn Switzerland for the quarters. But it's incredibly important to note that this isn't some backroom deal. It's largely due to the mechanical nature of the tournament draw and some pretty shocking upsets by other teams. Like Argentina avoided a massive clash with Colombia purely because Switzerland pulled off a stunning upset to knock the Colombians out. The bracket is just the bracket, but, it definitely adds fuel to the narrative for anyone looking for a conspiracy.
Let's move into Section 4, stats behind the bias.
So are referees actually swallowing their whistles for Argentina? Let's dive into the actual numbers. The data we're looking at is honestly fascinating. Argentina averages a remarkably high 19.7 fouls before they see a yellow card. When you compare that to a team like England, who get booked every 7.7 fouls, the gap is massive. It looks bad, right? But actually, scratch that, hold on a second. Before we jump to conclusions, look at Norway. Norway actually averages 24 fouls per booking, and they are also sitting right there in the final 8. So while Argentina's leniency rate is exceptionally high, they certainly aren't the only outliers in this tournament.
But just as those stats offer a bit of grounding, FIFA goes and makes an administrative decision that has fans completely scratching their heads. They appointed an all-Argentine referee team, led by Facundo Tello, for the crucial quarterfinal match between France and Morocco. Given that France is a heavy tournament favorite and a direct major rival to Argentina for the trophy, suspicious fans are naturally questioning why FIFA would even risk the perceived conflict of interest. Regardless of the officials' undeniable professionalism, it's just an absolute optics nightmare.
Finally, we reach Section 5, FIFA defends the VAR. To truly understand the core of this explainer, we have to look at the objective, technical reality presented by FIFA's own refereeing experts. You really need to understand a term called APP, the attacking possession phase. This specific rule is exactly why VAR rolled the tape all the way back to disallow Egypt's second goal. During the build-up play, Egypt's Marwan Attia was clearly spotted stepping on Argentine defender Lisandro Martinez's foot. The rule states that if a foul occurs anywhere in the continuous phase of possession leading to a goal, VAR is totally required to intervene. It doesn't matter how far away from the net it happened. A foul is a foul.
Former Premier League referee Andy Davies backed up this rigorous process when analyzing those chaotic final minutes. It was this crazy, bizarre situation where reversing one call could have simultaneously triggered a penalty on the entire other end of the pitch. But here's the step-by-step breakdown. Step 1, VAR correctly identified Attia's foul, wiping out Egypt's goal. Step 2, they looked at an Egyptian penalty claim where Argentina's McAllister gave a jersey tug, but they deemed it too brief to actually impact the attacker's momentum. And finally, Step 3, regarding Mohamed Salah's late penalty appeal against Julian Alvarez, VAR ruled it was just a normal momentum-driven collision between two players going at full sprint, not a foul by the defender. Love it or hate it, the technology was applied to the absolute letter of the law.
And legendary referee, now FIFA Chief Refereeing Officer, Pierluigi Collina, stepped up to firmly shut down these conspiracy theories. He hit the microphone to assert that while subjective decisions will always cause debate among passionate fans, the integrity and independence of the referees are completely absolute. He was emphatic that threats and accusations of rigging have zero place in the sport and that the VAR protocols are acting exactly as they were designed to, which is minimizing clear and obvious errors.
So what does this all mean? As Messi and Argentina march onward into the quarterfinals under this heavy cloud of viral debate, we really have to ask ourselves, has the introduction of hyper-analytical technology like VAR actually solved football's endless debates? Or has it simply handed us entirely new, microscopic reasons to argue about the beautiful game? It's a question that will surely rage on until the 2026 World Cup final and probably long after. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep your eyes on the pitch, and I'll catch you next time.